when Ron Hornaday Jr. is on the track in his NAPA brake parts truck. He doesn't even think about stopping.
Man, Ron's flying today. Hey, it's Earnhardt. Your wife called. Said something about an anniversary.
But when Ron hits the street, he relies on NAPA brake parts.
NAPA, we keep America running. Not to mention winning. Congratulations, Ron, on your NASCAR Truck Series championship.
Way to go, driver. That's a good hustle.
You can give that one to Ron Hornaday.
For a race driver, chasing the ultimate dream, a championship, starts when he straps himself in and prepares for a high-speed journey that starts at the drop of a green flag. Whether it's taking hard left turns on a short-track oval.
Oh, he loosened him up. Hornaday, under Bliss, loosened him up, and away he goes.
Or the winding turns of a road course.
Hornaday off the final turn, headed for home, his 9th career victory. He will retake the point lead.
A championship represents a season of hard work and dedication by the driver and his team. It represents a powerful machine built by a crew and controlled by a driver who can maneuver it into victory lane. It represents the ultimate finish, a finish built on the principle of running hard on a consistent basis. A championship can only be achieved if a team is willing to take the challenge and join fellow competitors in the chase to the championship. This year, one team stands out in its chase to the championship. During the inaugural season of the NASCAR Truck Series, Ron Hornaday Jr. showed folks that he was going to be a championship caliber driver.
Ron Hornaday to win it sideways. Whoa!
And he had the team to back him up. In 20 starts, Hornaday piloted the Chevy truck owned by Teresa Earnhardt to 3 poles, 6 wins, 10 top 5 finishes, and 14 top 10 finishes. In 1995, he finished 3rd in the chase to the championship behind series champion Mike Skinner and runner-up Joe Rudman. Hornaday's success as a NASCAR Truck Series driver should not be a surprise. Throughout his racing career, Hornaday has earned the reputation of being one of the best drivers on the West Coast.
I think the first time I stepped in a race car, my dad had tears in his eyes. He says, I can't really believe this kid was watching me race, running around the grandstands, always mom chasing him around trying to make him sit down and watch a race. I started off, I should say, wanting this motorcycle. My father didn't want me to have it. I bugged him and bugged him. It took like 2 years. I got my first motorcycle. Went out there and won a championship in that. Won a lot of trophies. Went up to a pro class. Started getting paid to ride. I hurt my leg real bad. Got out of that, went into go-karts for 2 years. Very first year I ran a go-kart was back in, I'm going to say 78, 77. Won a championship in that. Finished second in the points the next year. I was, at the time, helping a lot of people out at Sauga Speedway, our local track, of beating fenders out, learning a little bit about street stock, learning a little bit about welding. And I stayed gone from home. I'd get off work, go work on these guys' race cars, and my wife says, why don't we just build our own car?
When I met Ron, both of our fathers raced against each other, so I was always around racing, as Ron was always around racing, and he was always working on other people's cars, and I said, you know, Ron, why don't you just get your own car, and then we could spend a little bit more time together at home. And Ron's always been very exciting and very thrilling to be around. He always keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Somebody gave me a race car named Rudy Prince. He owned a little used car lot, and on my way home I was tearing the headliner out of it, and bought my first roll cage for $5. A friend of mine helped me weld it in there, and we were racing at Antelope Valley Fairgrounds, a little dirt track. Won my first race there, about the 3rd time out, in a little heat race. My daddy got excited. Next year went on from there and built us a family race car, and that's how it all starts.
After several years of Saturday night short track racing, he earned a ride to the NASCAR Featherlight Southwest Tour in 1988. In just 4 years, Hornaday captured his first Southwest Tour championship. The following season, he raced hard to successfully defend his title, an accomplishment that had not been made by any Southwest Tour champion. The fans showed their support for the two-time champion by naming Hornaday the Southwest Tour's most popular driver. In '94, Hornaday put his aggressive driving style to the test by running a full season on the Winston West Tour. As a rookie, he drove hard in his chase for the championship. His efforts earned him second place in the standings, just 23 points behind series champion Mike Chase. That same year, Hornaday packed up his family and went racing in NASCAR's Winter Heat Series.
My family put a lot on the line there, where no matter what we did, we stayed down there. We put every money we had into it through the Christmas time. It was actually tough.
But the Winter Heat Series paid off for Hornaday and his family. Ron's driving not only captured the attention of a national television audience.
There's a look at Ron Hornaday.
It also caught the eye of a 7-time Winston Cup champion.
Run that last race, getting home to my shop, saying Dale Earnhardt just called. I mean, my eyes just lit up. I said, yeah, right, sure. So when the time I could talk to him, he called me back within the hour. Flew in the next day, looked at what he had, which it didn't matter. You know, what a great guy. I tell you, just to do what we did in the short amount of time and making me feel real comfortable. I signed a little 3-paragraph deal and a handshake, and I was racing for Dale and Teresa Earnhardt.
In 1995, Ron Hornaday Jr. proved he was quite capable of handling his new challenge, winning the 1996 NASCAR Truck Series Championship. And on March 6th in Atlanta, Hornaday and his team got the boost they needed to show the world they were going to be contenders for the title.
We're pleased to announce our sponsorship of the number 16 truck racing team and Ron Hornaday Jr.
This year we're hoping for the championship, and we feel no reason why we can't do that. And with all the effort that's going out and all the support from the NAPA and United Brake Parts folks, everybody's been great putting this thing together. We're excited about it. We're excited about the new relationship. Looking forward to getting to know all the NAPA folks and become very well acquainted with them, and get acquainted well enough that when we go to San Francisco to celebrate, we'll all know who everybody is.
It's been a great deal. NAPA's been a big help to our whole team and everything. It's been so good just because, you know, they've got a 3-year deal with DEI, and we can concentrate on what we have to do to the trucks now instead of worry about painting equipment, painting trucks.
With NAPA's support, this team was ready to take on defending Truck Series champion Mike Skinner. The new season and a new track, the Homestead Motorsports Complex in Florida. It was a season opener that initiated the drivers to a straightaway that demanded 150 miles per hour out of their 700 horsepower machine. Hornaday was up to the task, taking to the grid in the 4th position. And after 400 miles, he came out with a solid 3rd-place finish. It was an early indication to his competitors that this new NAPA United Brake team was aiming for consistency and the championship.
Ran out of real estate the last lap. You know, Resendez did a great job, and we got underneath him the last time, and just had to hit the ripple strips, got the truck loose, and I got into the fence. But I'll take 3rd. You know, we're going for the championship, a top 5. That's what it takes.
5 weeks later, the trucks made a stop out west at Phoenix International Raceway. Hornaday's truck started in 9th, once again taking home its 2nd straight top 5 of the new season.
Way to go, driver. That's a good hustle with that piece of thing you had.
And even better, it moved him up in the point standings to 2nd place. Next for Team NAPA, Portland. Last year, Hornaday and his team finished 3rd in points. Could the 3rd race of the season be the team's lucky number in their chase for this year's championship? It would prove to be a hectic weekend for the driver. Not only was Ron set to get behind the wheel of the NAPA Chevrolet, he was also going to substitute drive the following day for injured driver Ricky Craven in the Winston Cup race in Sonoma, California. The Winston Cup opportunity did not distract Hornaday from his first priority. He started 11th and refused to look back. He steadily worked his way through the pack. On lap 10, the NAPA Chevy was able to avoid a crash that took out the pole sitter, Rich Bickle, and 4 other trucks. 30 laps later, the NAPA team took control of the half-mile Portland Speedway by taking the lead. But this was no ordinary Saturday afternoon drive for Hornaday. Throughout the race, he was forced to fight off challenges from defending series champion Mike Skinner and driver Mike Bliss. And as the race went on, the NAPA Chevy proved to be too much for Skinner and Bliss. The truck was hooked up, and Hornaday found himself enjoying a 2-second lead. But the gap between Team NAPA and the field was erased when 2 late caution flags were thrown. A 7-lap dash to the finish would decide the winner.
There's your leader, Ron Hornaday. Can he hold on? Mike Bliss is going to get one more shot.
Yo, looking good, Ron.
White flag coming up. Hornaday, 9th here a year ago. Looking for the gold, looking for the glory in Portland, Oregon. Mike Bliss going to have a great finish. Falls back truck length. Hornaday has led 161 of 200 if he holds it through here. He can take the point lead if he can bring it across. Here he is out of 4. Ron Hornaday's won it.
The win gave Ron his 7th career victory in the Truck Series and his first for the year. And even better, the win catapulted the NAPA crew into the points lead, knocking Jack Sprague into 2nd.
They put a good truck underneath me. This NAPA United Brake Parts truck just ran great all day and flawless. You know, last year we came down here and shook the tires off the thing because we were too soft on shocks. This year Bill Steen helped us out, worked with a good shock, and I'll tell you, we had an awesome truck. I couldn't do nothing wrong with it.
The next 4 races gave forewarning to the truck competitors that Hornaday may hold the solution to the championship formula. He finished strong by commanding a 2nd place finish in Evergreen, a 3rd in Tucson, and an 8th in Colorado. Race number 7 on the series schedule, Topeka, looked even brighter. Hornaday claimed his first pole of the season, and when the race was over, Hornaday collected his 6th top 5 of the season by finishing 3rd. Next up, Bristol. The high-banked oval challenged the NAPA team. The crew's hard-charging efforts earned them a respectable 8th place finish. However, Mike Skinner finished 4th and was able to overtake the series points lead. The points lead was not the only loss for Team NAPA. After the race, crew chief Doug Richards would resign. His departure left folks speculating. Could the NAPA team stay on top? The answer, yes. Doug Williams took over the reins for Team NAPA, and at the following 2 races, the team would not miss a beat. Williams commanded the team to 2 straight top 5 finishes at Nazareth and Milwaukee.
Well, I was brought on board about the 6th race in the season. You know, just was given a challenge, and we stepped up to the plate and, you know, done what we had to do. And the team, with people like Barry and Sammy and Mike and Darren and Kevin and Gordy, you know, people like that was dedicated and worked hard to put this thing together and made it awful easy.
Easy was right. At least that's how it looked when the team arrived in Louisville. Hornaday started the race 5th in the NAPA show truck. On lap 41, the NAPA Chevy challenged Mike Bliss for the lead and got it. For the next 10 laps, fans were sitting on the edge of their seats as the 2 drivers raced for the checkered.
Don't want to leave this one. This is a war.
On lap 51, Hornaday handed back the lead to Bliss. However, it would not last long. After a restart on lap 106, the NAPA Chevrolet got the momentum to go wide open into turn 1, sliding under Bliss, and once again reclaimed the lead. With 4 laps to go, Hornaday is challenged by one of his most fierce rivals, Mike Skinner. The defending champ was on Hornaday's tail, just waiting for the NAPA truck to slip up. But Hornaday kept his line, and the race was his.
You can give that one to Ron Hornaday of Palmdale, California. Earnhardt Racing scores a win.
But I'll tell you what, this one's for Dale Earnhardt. This truck's been sitting back in the shop for 2 years. We haven't ran it. Ron Hutchinson-Pagan built this thing a long time ago and we finally run it. But hats off, crew did a great job. We didn't just on it at all in the halfway time, first time ever, and great truck.
The victory gave Hornaday his 2nd win of the season and the 8th of his NASCAR Truck Series career. As for new crew chief Doug Williams, he helped the team steadily improve with each race. This win put the NAPA team on top of the point standings once again. The NAPA Chevy enjoyed a 23-point lead over Jack Sprague, Mike Skinner, Dave Rezendes, and Joe Ruttman. Hornaday and the NAPA crew continued their consistent ways by turning in a solid top 5 finish at Odessa. Indianapolis came next on the schedule, and Ron Hornaday Jr. summed it up best. His competition was fierce, and more work had to be done if he was going to come out on top in his chase for the championship.
each year it's tougher and tougher. You know, right about now we're about 4 or 5 races won, and we've only got 2 wins right now in this NAPA Chevrolet. But it's been tough. You know, every time I say I'm going to finish the top 5 for these points, you got Mike Skinner or Jack Spraggs wins a race. So a couple weeks ago I said I got to win one instead of get a top 5.
Hornaday was right. Indianapolis Raceway Park proved to be tough for the NAPA team. To win at Indy, he would have to take on rivals Mike Skinner and Jack Sprague. When the checkered flag was waved, it was Mike Skinner collecting his 2nd straight win at the Indy event, with Sprague following behind in 2nd. The NAPA team turned in a respectable 4th place finish. But Skinner's win narrowed Hornaday's NASCAR Truck Series lead to just 24 points. In Flemington, Skinner did all he could to spoil NAPA's quest for a win and the championship. Skinner and the Goodwrench team was out to defend their Truck Series championship, and they did it in fine style at Flemington. They raced hard to get to the front, and once they did, they stayed there. By winning the race, Skinner moved into the lead in the season-long points battle, but the lead was a mere 6 points over the NAPA team. Their solid 6th place finish kept them well within striking distance of that 1st place position. A win was a must in their game plan. Next stop for the Truck Series was another new track, Watkins Glen. When the NAPA truck rolled off the transporter, it looked as if a win might be out of reach. They were in desperate need of help. So the NAPA team turned to the boss's husband for advice. 7-time Winston Cup champion, Dale Earnhardt.
That morning we called Dale Earnhardt, I should say that night before. We came in there just before race morning, and we changed the whole truck around from shocks to springs to front sway bar, everything. I mean, we had a brand new truck starting that race.
The 10th place start for Hornaday was not a position he would hold for long. As soon as the green flag was dropped, Hornaday took to the track, driving his heart out. By lap 8, the NAPA Chevy was up to 3rd. 10 laps later, Hornaday passed Dave Rezendes.
And Hornaday's in 2nd place.
21 was Hornaday's number at the Glen. On that lap, he took over the number 1 spot from Mike Skinner.
And whoa, new leader. Hornaday has gotten around Skinner. They're through the inner loop, and we've got a new leader, Benny. How about it?
Up until that point, the Goodwrench service Chevy had led all the way. Hornaday took charge and was never seriously challenged. The race was his, and Team NAPA got the win it so desperately needed.
I'll tell you what, it sure was. I got to thank Dale and Teresa for giving me this NAPA Chevrolet that ran so good. I'll tell you, the trick is little air pressures and stuff these guys found out about last night on that telephone.
Victory number 3 was sweet. Series points leader Mike Skinner finished 3rd, forcing him to relinquish the number 1 position to Ron Hornaday and the NAPA team, 24-34 to 24-25. The series points lead was a position the NAPA United Brakes team had been able to hold 10 out of 15 races at that point in the season. In Nashville, another win was in sight for the NAPA crew. A 2-lap shootout was to decide the race. Leader Dave Rezendes had to duke it out with the NAPA Chevy. Hornaday raced Rezendes hard, but fell short, and Rezendes was able to hold off the NAPA team's challenge for the victory. The hard racing was to benefit Ron Hornaday Jr. and his team. The 2nd place finish widened Team NAPA's points lead to 64 over Mike Skinner, who had tire troubles and a race mishap with veteran driver Harry Gant. A rain-dampened Richmond followed, dampening too the efforts of Hornaday. The inclement weather forced the race to be called after 124 of the scheduled 200 laps. Mike Skinner chalked up another win, while the NAPA United Brake Parts team settled for 2nd. However, the points lead remained in Hornaday's hands, proving to the Truck Series that Skinner's most wins for the season didn't add up to Hornaday's 17 consecutive top 10 finishes.
I'm a hard driver. I like to race hard, but you got to have tires underneath the truck. You got to keep the brakes on the truck. You got to not have blisters on your hand for the last 10 laps of that race. So if you can be in contention in that top 5, keep the fenders on the truck, you're going to win the race.
Ron Hornaday Jr.'s philosophy could not have proven more true at the next race in the series, New Hampshire. After starting in the 10th position, the NAPA truck went for the front. An early race mishap with Ernie Irvin didn't faze Hornaday. He kept right on plugging his machine through the field.
Ron Hornaday just went into 5th place. He passed Brian Refner, so he's moving up.
On the restart at lap 198, Hornaday took charge by picking off 7 positions in the final 7 laps. His performance showed everyone the age-old adage, "It isn't over until the checkered flag waves," rang true in New Hampshire.
Here comes Hornaday to second. Here goes Hornaday to the lead.
Green, white checkers running third at the time, going for the white flag. Should say going for the checkered flag. 2 other trucks touched.
Here they come, one more series of turns. Sprague gets an amendment. Here comes Hornaday. Hornaday to the inside. Hornaday is going to win. The series point leader takes the checkered flag in New Hampshire. Holy cow. Wow, unbelievable.
NAPA, Chevrolet, everybody. I tell you what, we had a 10th-place truck. We changed the gear before that, and as soon as we started the race, I said, darn, I'm going to kick myself in the butt. And all the guys said, what's the matter with the gear? And I said, yeah. That was my call. We keep coming in. Doug Williams and everybody keeps making this thing looser and looser, and I tore the front tire off the thing the first half, and I said, I ain't going to do it the second half. And all of a sudden, we came in for that last halfway break, took a couple rounds out. NAPA Chevrolet was awesome.
The 4th victory of the season stretched Hornaday's points lead over Skinner by 151 points, a margin that marked the largest lead in the history of the NASCAR Truck Series. Points remain the key in the team's chase for the championship. The race at Martinsville earned them another top 5 finish. Up next, North Wilkesboro, a track that would test the spirit of the NAPA crew. After starting in the 16th position, Ron battled his way up through the field to the 9th position. But with just 31 laps to go, Hornaday makes contact with Mike Bliss. The contact left the NAPA Chevy with a flat rear tire. By race end, NASCAR Winston Cup regular Mark Martin was the winner. The NAPA Chevy limped to 22nd place, 2 laps down. The finish broke the team's 19 consecutive finishes in the top 10. Team NAPA remained ahead of Mike Skinner in the points lead. However, the cushion dwindled to 91 points with just 4 races to go. In October, the Truck Series made a number of stops out west, allowing Hornaday to run in his own backyard. The road course at Sonoma suited the driver well. The NAPA truck started second and ran strong. In the closing laps, fans were treated to a side-by-side duel between the driver to beat on the road course and the series defending champ. Hornaday came out on top, finishing second behind Dave Rezendes. Skinner finished third. The points lead for the NAPA team remained intact. The Mesa Marin Speedway in Bakersfield was once again the site of another bold battle between Ron Hornaday Jr. and Mike Skinner. At race start, Hornaday sat on the pole, his 2nd of the year. Skinner rolled off the grid in 4th. With 8 miles to go, the lead was among 4 drivers: Hornaday, Jack Sprague, Rich Bickle, and Mike Skinner. But a few miles later, it looked as if the race at New Hampshire was being replayed.
It happens again, Sprague, this time into Bickle. They will spin through the infield.
Aggressive driving by Jack Sprague dashes his chances of winning the race. The accident brought out the 14th caution of the day to set up an all-out shootout between Hornaday and Skinner. With 2 laps to go, a hard-charging effort by Skinner put his Goodrich Service Chevy into victory lane. Hornaday would be happy with second, especially since 86 points separated Hornaday from Skinner for the Truck Series championship. Phoenix would be the next to last stop for the NASCAR Truck Series. It was a good day for the NAPA team. They chalked up another top 10. And even more important, there was just one last race remaining in the season: Las Vegas, a track the NAPA team was hoping to cash in on. If they could, the chase to the championship would be over, and their driver, Ron Hornaday Jr., would be crowned NASCAR Truck Series champion.
You know, we was there to win the race. You know, we went into it just like we have all of them, you know, to win the race, just do the best we could with what we had.
I mean, I've never had that much pressure in anything I've ever done. I've won a couple other championships in the Southwest Tour. Hollow feeling.
The tension was the worst. Ron and I have almost been married 18 years, and that was probably the toughest weekend we've ever had in our whole lives. Ron was a completely different person that day. He kept saying, I'm so hollow inside, I'm so hollow, and I sat at the truck with him quite a while that day when he got inside the truck. I knew as soon as he pushed that button that it was going to be okay, because as soon as that thing starts, it's like Ron clicks and the Ron Hornaday, the driver, turns on, and I knew he'd be fine as soon as the truck turned on.
At Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the NAPA team needed to finish 18th or better to claim the title. So Hornaday revised his aggressive driving style. He chose to run more conservatively when the race started. Hornaday knew the stakes were high. There was more to this race than just a win. By driving smart and staying out of trouble, Hornaday could bring home the NASCAR Truck Series title to his team and to his new sponsor, NAPA. And that's just what he did. When the race was over, Jack Sprague was the winner. However, Ron Hornaday Jr. was an even bigger winner.
And Hornaday comes across close enough to secure the series championship.
The NAPA truck finished 10th, collecting its 23rd top 10 of the season. And in true Las Vegas style, the NAPA team hit the jackpot. The 1996 NASCAR Truck Series Championship was theirs.
Great truck. I tell you, I didn't think we had nothing for them, and we kept talking to Doug Williams, the whole guys. And I'll tell you what, they just keep on tuning. We had more, but I didn't want to touch it in the last session. I tell you what, that's a year. Another top 10. We finished every race other than one out of the top 10. Can't be any happier for NAPA. Action Collectibles was #1 to me, and I tell you, can't even be any happier. In the last 20 laps, I was holding my breath. This is the last 3.
Las Vegas wrapped up the NASCAR Truck Series season for 1996. Team NAPA proved to everyone that consistency is what wins championships. Take a look at this impressive race season recap. The NAPA United Brakes Parts team took home 2 poles, 18 top 5 finishes, 23 top 10s, and 4 wins. What an impressive year for the team and their rookie sponsor, NAPA.
NAPA came on board this year, and I told them, hey, we win this championship, we get the support, and we did, and they've been a great sponsor, and between NAPA and Action, it's been a great year for us. They've done a good job for us. Ron Hornaday, I can't say enough for him, and I felt like I drove the race today for him too. I was out there talking with him, trying to keep him calm. I was trying to keep myself calm too.
The sweet taste of success came just 2 short weeks later in San Francisco. Members of the NASCAR truck community came together to salute their new champion, Ron Hornaday Jr. and Team NAPA.
I present to you the 1996 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion, Ron Hornaday.
I was really proud to see him up there because I really feel that Ron deserved this championship. I was real nervous for him because I know that was difficult to get up. Ron's element is in that race truck. It's not sitting in a tuxedo and standing in front of all his peers and having to sit there and make a speech like that. So I was nervous about that part for him, but I was really proud and I was happy when he was finished because he did a good job.
We owe a lot of this to my wife. I mean, she's put up with a lot of stuff, especially coming down the last 3, 4, 5 races. Ron Hornaday wasn't the same. Looking at them points, I wasn't the sweetheart of a guy, husband you should have been. I was a little bit of a bear coming the last 3 or 4 or 5 races, and she stuck it out. She's been sticking it out for 17, 18 years now of marriage, and what a lady.
In true championship fashion, Hornaday not only credits his wife Lindy with his recent success, he's also grateful to those folks who lent a helpful hand getting his career off the ground.
I'll give you a hug before she does.
This championship's kind of saying thanks. I mean, for believing in me, knowing we can do it, even if I don't win another championship, even if I don't win another race. I just got to thank the people for getting me here right now.
The future shines bright for the 1996 NASCAR Truck Series champion and his team. And it's a sure bet Team NAPA will be running hard to defend the NASCAR Truck Series title in 1997. Plus, here's something extra to think about. Ron Hornaday Jr.'s favorite number on the side of his old race cars is 97. Could 97 be their year again?
Well, the championship, I mean, it's everything you dream. That's what we focus for all year. This hasn't hit me yet, but I'm telling you, it's feeling better. It's going to sink in. When it does, I'm just going to look back and go, wow, what a great year. I mean, to run what we've done, the top 5 finishes we got, the top 10 finishes we have, running every lap but 2. Compliments to my team, my motor builder, Dennis Fisher, NAPA Brakes, Dale Teresa, my family, my team, everybody. I mean, I'm going to say, wow, they're a hell of a team. Got to be part of it.